So let's have a look to see what did we accomplish in South Africa. Now, well, we can all talk about negatives in the country, and we'll come to some of these issues, but look what we accomplished over the course of the last while. We shifted the country from a position of confrontation, and that was clear given the history of the country, to negotiation. And I spoke about that in the last lecture. This movement of the enemies, the sworn enemies, into a convention for a democratic South Africa around a negotiation table, and all the political parties and all the different ideological factions did participate in hammering out this future for the country. We shifted from white domination to majority rule. Again, a very significant shift for us. Again, I'll make the point that I made in the last lecture. In a sense, although under great pressure, the white minority rulers, the political party, effectively voluntarily gave up political control, the key driver behind bringing the factors and forces together within South Africa. The ruling African National Congress, what was once a terrorist organization, a guerrilla movement, freedom fighters, I cover all the bases when I describe all of these political movements, they had to shift themselves from being a liberation movement to being a governing political party, a responsible governing political party. No mean feat, I must tell you. And indeed, for this new ruling party in South Africa, they had to tell their people, their mass population who voted for them, that the road to success in South Africa would not be a quick fix. Given the history and given the income disparities and given segregation, it would not be easy to fix South Africa. You couldn't just give poor South Africans access to resources. You couldn't just give them a house. You couldn't just give them land quickly. Many of them thought, indeed, that once the ruling party, a new ruling party, took office, there would be quick fixes or populist solutions to political problems. This had to be conveyed to the population, and people's expectations to a degree had to be tempered with the reality of government. We had to consolidate liberal democratic values in our new constitution with a strong human rights culture. We had to take our economy that we called a siege economy because we suffered from sanctions and disinvestment. Our economy was very focused inwardly on providing for our people because we simply didn't have access to the outside world. Suddenly, we entered the global community in 1994, and we entered a globalizing world in 1994 in an economy that had been geared for isolationism, sanctions, disinvestment. Now you can imagine, we came on stream in 1994, so did so many other societies in the world. China and India were rearing their heads in 1994. Look where China is today. Right today, it's overtaking Japan as the largest, one of the largest economies in the world, right today as I speak here. But there you go. Suddenly in 1994, we just became another nation, another developing nation in a globalizing world, and we have to compete. Just like other nations, we have to compete for investment in our country. We're not that special anymore. So some South Africans think they're very special because of their history. The harsh reality in the outside world is that everyone across the world, whether you're in Argentina, whether you are in Bangladesh, or whether you are in South Africa, you compete for resources and investment from the outside world. We had to provide essential social services for our people. Remember, most of our black population had no social services, in fact received no social security benefits at all. People really had to fend for themselves, and it was very difficult indeed for them to do that, and we had to roll out social security services for our people. I'll come back to that also in a moment. We had to create a positive climate for economic growth, given the negativity of the past and given the problems in Southern Africa and in Africa as a continent. We had to instill a degree of confidence for others to come into South Africa and to see South Africa as a good opportunity to make money and to extract a profit. The region in which we live has historically been an unstable region, given the conflicts in Angola and Mozambique and Zimbabwe and Namibia. And all of this had to be overcome in terms of putting ourselves on the map as a leading light in Africa. Quite a tough job, and I think we went a long way to coming of age, as The Economist magazine put it in a survey that they did a little while ago. We